Patrice O'Neal in studio. So I guess the Guinness Book of World Records came out.
Yeah.
I used to read that book as a kid.
Everyone loved it. It was one of those staples, one of those things everybody had. A good book to have by the churlet.
Yeah, I used to find it fascinating. And then it got to, I don't know. What am I trying to say?
It did change because it was kind of fun to read.
I know what I'm trying to say. They got rid of the freak angle. The Guinness Book of World Records, when we were growing up, had a lot of freaky things in there.
Biggest face,
smallest girl, longest fingernails, all that freakish crap.
Biggest face woman.
Yeah.
Biggest face man.
Biggest face man.
Heaviest pituitary gland. Deepest voice.
And I think the PC police, I think they kind of got to the Guinness Book of World Records. And they're like, look, you can't have a record for biggest face. I'm sorry, but you just can't.
Your face is huge.
Right.
Biggest face. That's funny.
The PC police.
Face.
Right. You can't have no face woman.
Oh, just
why?
With a weird picture.
Right.
It's a real weird picture, and it's always in India.
Yeah.
Somebody with the biggest something is in India.
The guy's always with the fingernails.
Yeah.
He was an Indian guy and stuff. Yeah, it's always in India.
Biggest face
The
is
guy
an
with
Indian
the
woman.
biggest face. How do you even measure that?
From Calumet.
So now their records are I don't know, world record for eating hard-boiled eggs and
What,
just
most
dumb
push-ups?
stuff.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's got to be like healthy stuff that the children won't try to reproduce.
I want biggest face. I want the world record for biggest face. We got to start a campaign.
Littlest feet.
Yeah. Tiny people that fit in cabinets,
Now they got records for mistake. It's a mistake. He got the guy who got bumped into the most going into the train station.
Yeah.
700 times. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
That's not a record.
They used to have just horrific birth defects, and then they would call them records.
Some 9-foot guy, but they had to measure him like he was hunched over like a cocktail shrimp. They had to measure him with like a rope because he's all bent up, but he's 10 feet tall.
Yeah. He only stands about 6'4", but if you stretch the bastard out, he's 10'2".
If you stretch the bastard out, if you stretch him out, he's 18 feet tall.
Right. Yeah. That's what I miss from the world records.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was the good stuff.
Now they got longest leg hair. Come on.
That's stupid.
And how long is the hair? 4 inches or so? Who cares? But anyway,
Some of the records aren't even records. They're like stunts. It's like a stunt.
They did have freaks, though. Remember that?
Yeah, I liked the ones where the two fat guys on the mini bike, the brothers.
You can tell, though, that it's weaker because the book is beautiful now. Back in the day, the Guinness Book of World Records used to be an arrogant book. It was it looked like a dictionary. It wasn't exciting.
Yep.
No color pictures. It was just you would go, wow. Now they have this amazing looking.
It's very glossy.
Yeah, and you
very
move
colorful.
it, it moves.
That's crap.
It almost has pop-up features.
Yeah.
When we were growing up and the Guinness Book of World Records came out, you had to go to the back of the library or the back of the bookstore. Hey, I want that book, and they weren't proud to display. It's you freak, here you go.
Yeah, it was a
But
mess.
now it's front and center in every bookstore.
And it was bigger than the New Testament Bible.
Yeah.
It was just huge.
It was real thick.
Now it's just it's a cocktail. What do they call it? A cocktail table.
Yeah.
Table book. It's just whack. It's as you go in. This is not exciting.
No.
It stinks.
Coffee table book. That was it. Yeah.
It was awful. But the one I remember all the time is the littlest people.
Yeah.
And they call them dwarfs. They didn't call them little people in there.
No, midgets, dwarves. There was no little people, no political correctness there.
Littlest midget.
It's a fidget.
So, but this was in the paper yesterday. I'm thinking, wow, maybe I have to pick up the Guinness Book of World Records book again. Pennsylvania man holds record no one wants to break. This guy, Matthew McKnight, hopes nobody manages to top his feet in the Guinness Book of World Records. That's because McKnight holds the record for, are you ready for this? Greatest distance thrown in a car accident.
Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. No, it's a bigger crash. Going. Look at him go, folks. Look at him go. And there he is. Wow.
I don't understand.
God bless him, though, man, for coming up with this record. This McKnight, holds the record for greatest distance thrown in a car accident. The 29-year-old record holder lived to tell about being thrown. How many feet, Patrice?
What was the previous record holder?
Yeah, who held that?
I can guess.
Who's going like, damn, I got beat?
Do they even have the previous record
That's
holder?
why I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, how did they even...
Yeah, I don't know.
I would say a mile, and they put it in there.
A mile? Wow.
Because for them to decide that this is a record, it had to be something ridiculous, and they go, no one could have been thrown further than this.
I want to get in a car accident on the Pacific Coast Highway and be thrown off a cliff into the water. I would have the new record, and I would survive. I get it. It's far. The guy was thrown 118 feet by a car that hit him while traveling about 70 miles an hour.
Oof. Did his shoes come off? They always come off.
Dude, he wasn't even in the car. Car going 70 miles an hour. This guy's on the side of the road helping another. What was he helping? Trying to help accident victims along Interstate 376. Kind of in the Pittsburgh area, and then a car going 70 miles an hour hit him, and he went flying 118
Now, do you have to live? This record is a living...
Oh, yeah. I'm sure
I know a guy who died. He lost his head.
Yeah.
And he went 1,316 feet.
There's people in plane crashes and stuff that have flown miles.
Yeah.
You know, that record you got to be alive for.
Yeah,
you got to be alive.
He suffered 2 dislocated shoulders and a broken shoulder, pelvis, leg, and tailbone. He spent 2 weeks in the hospital and 80 days in rehab before returning to work.
Evil Knievel.
There was a plane that broke in half over China, and I think those people won longest skydive without a parachute. Longest free fall.
A lot of those records do hinge on the fact, are you alive or dead? Because if you're dead, it ain't a record.
How about longest drowning?
Longest, because they have holding your breath the longest. They do have the person that can hold his breath the longest, but if you're dead...
Longest fall into the Pacific, and then slowly drowning, and then drifting down into the
murky darkness.
Yeah, how about a record for how long you survived? Wait, how deep you were before you died?
In the water.
In the water.
There you go.
Right.
Exactly. I was alive until my eardrums popped out.
That's a good one.
You know, I'm sure the mafia would be involved with that record. Cement shoes, they drop you.
You know what I would think?
Officially, you're alive for a while.
There's somebody in the Mariana Trench right now.
You gotta be underwater, like with water on your body. Or what if you're in one of those air pockets in like the Titanic, and the thing goes down, and you're like, I sure hope we're still kind of on the surface. Meanwhile, you got
some people
thousands of feet of water
that broke a record on the Titanic.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
they were in their room with the water just up to the ceiling. He's breathing, going, maybe they'll rescue me soon. And you're on the bottom.
Yeah, maybe
no one's coming for 80 years.
Maybe they're circling this boat.
Yeah. They could pull me out any second now. 80 years later, a robot camera's looking at your skeleton.
Oh, by the way, they don't do eating records, thanks to Pat from Menaki.
Pat knows that.
Because that wasn't safe, so they don't do the eating records.
Oh, really?
Anymore.
So the hot dog, the winner of the hot dog eating contest can't get recognized.
Mike in Jersey, you're on the Opie and Anthony show. What's up, Mike?
Hey, boys, how you doing?
Good, man.
Yeah, I met a guy, his stage name was Henry Height, and back then, it was like 1968 or 1970. He was the world's tallest man in the Guinness book. He was listed as about 8'2". And back then, I was a 10-year-old kid. I'm thinking, wow, the guy's name is Henry Height. You're all impressionable at that age,
Yeah.
And he was at a local supermarket, Green's Supermarket in North Arlington. So a bunch of us went up to see the guy, and they brought him out of the freezer. They kept him cold, they told us, in the freezer because it was the summertime.
Yeah.
So again, they're making all these impressions on us. You're little kids, and you see this guy. He he weighed about 30 pounds, and he was 8 feet tall. You know, he was ugly looking. That's it, boys. Take it deep.
That's it, boys.
How about Paul Pituitary?
How about someone called the Guinness Book of World Records? We got the world's most boringest caller. Needs to be in the next edition.
That's
of
the
book.
longest you can be made sick by a story until you say shut up.
The world.
3 minutes, 8 seconds.
The world's greatest who gives a crap phone call to a radio show goes to...
I love when it makes me happy though, because you know you get on the radio and you just want to be funny and do, and then you know people go, you suck.
Yeah.
And then it's just you realize
Like,
it's 5 more hours of this.
Yeah.
And all he needed was his 2 minutes to talk about Mr. Harry Height, and it just fizzled.
Harry Height.
It fizzled into nothingness.
I guess his name was Henry Height. He was 7'6". He died in 1972. Thank you, E-Rock.
I like the whole thing that goes before that, though, Patrice. Like he thought of it and went, this is a good idea. Let me call up and I'll get this on the air. And then you get on and you're waiting, and then you hear that, you're on the air. Oh, here comes my story. And you tell it, and it just bombs.
It never
and then what
fails.
do you do?
Yeah.
Anytime I get a heckler and I go, and it's bad, I just go, do you see how hard it is? I've been up here 36 minutes, and I said something bad once. You just decided, you thought it out.
Yeah.
He thought this story out. He goes, this is going to be great because it adds to, and he met Harry Height, but he didn't go to think.
Harry Height.
And usually men...
His name's Henry, but Harry Height sounds...
Harry's funnier. He's now Harry Height.
Harry Height sounds really funny, man.
And he just was happy because he thought he relived this. He got all nostalgic.
Yeah.
And it's weird to the man in here. I'm just letting you know, sir, that when you just called in. To the man, everybody, no one wanted to say...
Well,
you stunk.
And as we dissect it, he's getting more embarrassed. He's almost got to turn the radio off until we're done talking about him.
Yeah, right about now, he's like, right about now, he's itching parts of his body. He didn't even know it itched.
And Opie called the elephant out in the room. He's like, look, dude, that was awful. And I wanted to say it. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to say it. And I'm like, that just stunk. Is it just me?
Speaking of tall people and the Guinness Book of World Records, I blame the medical profession, man. They're curing these freaking...
The freaks.
What is it? The pituitary gland keeps squeezing out juice in your brain, and that's
Yeah.
why you become one of these giants. And
That's why you become one of those guys.
And they-
Talk like this. Like, I was 12 years old when I noticed I really started. I was a lot bigger than the rest of my class. It was hard for me to even sit down and eat lunch with the rest of the class.
How tall were you when you were 12 years old, sir?
I was 7'1" at 12. My pituitary gland just kept injecting,
juice, yeah.
squeezing pituitary juice in. And here's a picture of me on the basketball team. I could only play for a week, and then my knees gave out because I'm tall doesn't mean I'm a healthy man. My joints can't really take the height. And then here's me in high school at 16 years old when I hit 8'4".
Did you go to the prom or any of those?
Yes, I went to the prom.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of me with my date.
Yeah.
It was done in 3 separate photographs, stitched together, because she's up to my kneecap.
Because the gunpowder camera couldn't get the
The old gunpowder camera.
couldn't fit all your body parts.
Yes, I went to my prom, and we had a good time dancing.
Yeah.
Pinning the corsage on was hard. If you look, that question mark is me, pinning the corsage on her.
And that caused extreme lower back pain, huh?
Lower back pain, which I had to go to the doctor for, and they put me on a steroid, which actually increased my pituitary gland more. So here's a picture of me at 19 at 9'7".
But it seems like you lived a normal life, like anybody else.
I tried living as normal a life as I could, but it was very difficult being as tall as I am. My house, I was always bumping my head on the doorway and the lights. And my mother and father were actually 5'4" each. So it's strange that I came out to be so giant.
Now we're watching stock footage as you talk here, and I see a little photo op where you're changing the light bulbs in the gym. It's kind of nice.
I would do that. So no ladder. You could just see me smiling. I'm always smiling in these pictures, like I'm happy to be a freak.
How'd you make your money, man?
Usually with the circus. The circus would come to town, and I would just sit there in a chair, and people would come by and point at me and take pictures with me. And here I am. This is me now at 22 years old, and I'm just short of 10 foot tall.
It's still growing, I hear.
Still growing, but how much longer can I live?
I don't know, man.
You know. My heart just pumping blood to my brain. It should have a pump like the Hoover Dam in it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to pump blood up to my brain at this heart.
I hear your heart in between, like pumping blood is huffing and puffing.
It huffs and puffs.
And then it pumps. Hey, I see another photo of you as a Boy Scout in a Boy Scout uniform.
Well, there it is. It was custom made. My mother had to sew it for me. It's actually 18 different Boy Scout uniforms sewed together. But I wanted to be a normal kid. I just wanted to be like everybody else, so I joined the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I see you stand in the back row when they take these group photos.
Here it is. Yes, here's me getting my badge for catching an eagle. And I just took him out of a tree. He was in his nest, and I just reached up and grabbed him. Everyone else had to make some kind of a trap. Not me.
Not me.
Yeah. They called me Old Basketball Heart. It was the size of a basketball when I go to the doctor and they'd x-ray me.
Yeah.
Wonderful, though, being this tall. And here is, the love of my life.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. She's 4'2", eyes of blue.
Why didn't you at least try to get a woman that was 6 foot tall?
I don't know. She's got to stand on a ladder for us to kiss.
Yeah.
It's making whoopee.
What are you packing
That's impossible.
for a 10-foot man?
Believe me, it's not proportioned. You know, if it was proportioned, it would be as big as my best gal, 4'2".
None of that pituitary got down?
No pituitary juice got to where it really matters.
No pituitary.
On me, I'd need an elephant trunk for it to even look right. It's very embarrassing. When I'd shower in the gym, actually I'd have to lay down and let 4 showers just hit me. Very embarrassing. But I tried to be as normal a kid as I could.
Yeah.
And who pays for all your special equipment you need, like your bed, your shoes?
Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad buy that. I had to take 3 beds and put them together. When I got a car, we had to take tin snips and cut the roof out, and my head sticks out. Looks like a cartoon.
And you also had to take the front seats out. You're actually driving from the back.
I'm driving from the back. Actually, the trunk. I drive from the trunk.
Right.
And it's very awkward because my knees are still in my face. I hate when Poe parks it because he screws up all the settings on my seat. Inside joke.
Linger longer.
Oos.